On October 1st, after successfully completing 16 weeks of the FBI's 19-week training program, so close, Maltinsky was handed a letter terminating his employment. Oh no. This is an attack on his free association. Well, he can be freely associated with another agency or not. His future has been freed up. You're not entitled to achieve your childhood dreams. That's not a right in America. It's not partisan. It's not disruptive in any way. It is extremely partisan. It's extremely disruptive. That's why you have it up. That's why you fly it. Kash Patel now being sued by this guy, a gay fired ex-FBI agent who says that he has been improperly dismissed because he had a pride flag on his desk at the FBI. So now he's suing, saying, Kash, how dare you? CNN reporting he was a veteran FBI employee. We'll see. He sues the Bureau because of his flag that was on his desk. We got the lawsuit queued up, but it was an LGBTQ plus AA expialidocious flag. His name is David Maltinsky, worked there for 16 years and was almost done becoming a special agent before Kash said, you're gone. After CNN reported the firing, two veteran FBI employees said on condition of anonymity that displaying the flag on one's desk was normally allowed, but not anymore. Since Trump came in, he's vowed to rid the federal government of woke ideology. And now this dude got fired. So he sued. This is taking place in the District of Columbia, Maltinsky versus Patel. And here is what he is claiming happened. He says, all right, Kash, you're being sued. So is Pam Bondi and the FBI and the DOJ going after everybody. So David, he says, you know, on September 11th, 2001, David was 11 years old. In the months following 9/11, he determined that someday he would serve his country. In 2008, he took the first step in that journey. He volunteered as an intern assigned to FBI LA. Then in 2009, he entered public service, joining the FBI as a full-time employee. Yeah, you mean he got a job in an operational support role assigned to a team investigating public corruption in LA. In 2014, he was promoted to serve as a staff operations specialist, an intelligence role in which he supported the FBI's efforts to prevent and combat cyber attacks. Then, on June 12, 2016, 49 people were killed and 58 people were wounded in a mass shooting at Pulse in Orlando, Florida. And Maltinsky, a gay man, was horrified by the nightclub attack. Everybody else was. What does gay being have to do with that? You don't want 49 people shot and killed and 58 shot and wounded. But as a gay man, he's extra horrified. So in response to the shooting, he resolved to support the FBI's then existing diversity initiatives, which he hoped in turn would strengthen the FBI's capacity to prevent and respond to these attacks in the future. How? No one knows. The FBI encouraged and honored his work by awarding him the 2020 Director's Award for Excellence. For what? Outstanding service in diversity and inclusion. I guess by just existing, you know, as a gay man. In 2022, the AG for the DOJ, 2022, that's Merrick Garland, awarded Maltinsky the Equal Employment Opportunity Attorney General's Award, the highest award for, I guess, being a gay man. Now, in special recognition of his efforts to improve the FBI, like maybe with like flags or something, in June 21, they entrusted to Maltinsky two pride flags that had flown from the flagpole located in front of LA. And he displayed one of those flags at his workstation, okay? So they sound like big flags, not like a little, you know, thing like this. Big, you know, that you hang on a flagpole. Huge. So they give him to him because as a gay man, he was increasing the diversity of the FBI, which somehow leads to mission readiness. So they give him one of these big flags. He puts it on his desk. Then in October 2025, the whole world changes. Fascism's taking over. Everyone's getting murdered. Everyone's getting kidnapped off the streets, blah, blah. Maltinsky was on the verge of achieving his childhood dream of becoming an FBI special agent. Having worked for over 16 years as a non-agent employee of the FBI, he applied to and was accepted by the FBI Special Agent Training Academy at Quantico, Virginia. Then, on October 1st, after successfully completing 16 weeks of the FBI's 19-week training program, so close, Maltinsky was handed a letter terminating his employment. Oh no. The letter was signed by Patel. In the letter, Kash wrote that he had, quote, determined that Maltinsky exercised poor judgment with the inappropriate display of political signage in his work area during his previous assignment in the LA field office. In short, Patel fired Maltinsky for displaying a pride flag at his workstation that had been flown by the FBI, they say. And then it was given by the FBI to Maltinsky. Yeah, but that was the gay FBI. This one's not gay anymore. The defendant's discrimination against Maltinsky Maltinsky for engaging in protected speech at his workstation was a clear and brazen violation of the federal law and the Constitution. So he requests that the court review the fact that he got fired. This is an attack on his free association. Well, he can be freely associated with another agency or not. His future has been freed up. You're not entitled to achieve your childhood dreams. That's not a right in America. Violated his Fifth Amendment rights for equal protection under the law. He seeks equitable relief and vindication of his constitutional right. We have zero sympathy. Remember when they were firing everybody for not getting the jab? You said, actually, I'm not going to put a foreign object in my body that's created by some maniacs in some lab somewhere. No thanks. So, well, you're fired. And they all got laughed out of there for that. So, you know, you got workplace standards. They said you didn't comply with those standards. You're fired. You don't comply with these standards. You're fired. Get out. This court has jurisdiction, and he says here, he's a former employee of the FBI. Never an agent, though. Probably not ever going to be an agent. Not anytime soon. From August 2009 to March 14, he was an operational support technician, and he was embedded in public corruption. Yeah, great job out there in LA. There's no corruption out there. His duties and responsibilities included a bunch of things. He got information. He used the computer. He got on-the-spot awards and time off awards, and he put them all on his refrigerator and told his mama. Says in April, Maltinsky was promoted again. Over the years, he was embedded on national security and cyber squads, and he received a bunch of awards. He was also part of a group reorganized for its response to Sony Pictures and what happened with Sony. They got attacked by Korea, and he got another award. Wow. He then went overseas. He went to Nigeria to support cybercrime, combat cybercrime, and all those Nigerian princes who were ripping off our seniors. That's a good one. Maltinsky applied to become an FBI agent, submitted to a background check, met with human resources. They said his background check was favorable, and he started training. But then he got fired. He successfully completed 16 weeks, and he completed every milestone. He got a bachelor's degree in political science from California State. Okay, so a useless degree. It's my degree. I know how useless it is. Patel is sued in his official capacity. He's suing the FBI. He's suing Bondi. He's suing the DOJ because he wants to fly his flag and fulfill his lifelong desire to be an FBI agent as a gay man. In 2015, here's the backstory. The FBI entered its diversity and inclusion program before Trump came in. The purpose of this was to support employees who've been traditionally underrepresented. They want to foster an inclusive working environment and enhance mission success. How? No one knows. Every director back then under Obama was mandated to have a D&I program coordinator. Then in 2016, after the Pulse nightclub massacre, he says, once again, as a gay man, not as just a man, not as a person who says, you know, I hate violence. He says, I really hate violence against gay men. So I'm going to go work at the FBI to, I guess, stop violence against gay men. He had a responsibility to help the FBI achieve mission success and helping to lead its diversity initiatives. He communicated to his relevant leadership at the time, hi, I think I can work in the D&I program. Do you have any skills? No, but I am a gay man. Perfect. Come on in. The DACs were an internal body of FBI leadership. They advised everybody on diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility policies. So spanning multiple presidential administrations, they played a critical role on strengthening the readiness of the FBI workforce. So then he joined the Bureau, their Equality Committee. That's how you get into the FBI. Come into our Equality Committee, which was tasked with bringing issues related to sexual orientation and gender identity to the attention of FBI management and to make recommendations on how the FBI can become more gay. In 2019, Maltinsky was elected by the Bureau Equality Committee membership to serve as a chairperson. Like, you're like really gay. So as an extra gay person, you're like the top of the gays. Come on in here. You're going to be the chairperson now. So in addition, he advised the FBI about people relocating to Alabama, and he served different components of the FBI about all of these issues, LGBTQIA+. Then in 2020, thanks to his leadership, he was awarded an Excellence Award for what? Outstanding service for diversity and inclusion. Then in 22, under Biden, he was honored for his service and Merrick Garland. They gave him a prestigious honor, recognizing people who made outstanding contributions to advancing equal opportunity, diversity, and inclusion. Of what? Says here, Maltinsky's tenure, and then it ended in February. So then he's no longer, I guess, on the board. So then in June 21, the FBI came in. Joe Biden stole the presidency. They came in. They started flying pride flags beneath the American flag at government buildings. You know, flag is like a symbol of your nation, symbol of your identity. So when they hang the pride flags from the Capitol buildings and they hang them under the American flag, it's a symbol of conquest. We have one flag. It's the American flag. That's it. In response, LAFO approved plans for the pride flag to fly from the main flagpole in LA to make it ultra gay and inclusive in LA. On June 25, the LAFO raised a secondary Progress Pride flag. Don't even know what that is. Don't even care. So many different flags, all the colors, all the permutations, all of them are ridiculous. On or about June 28th, they lowered the Progress Pride flag, and then they put up the traditional Rainbow Pride flag, which is, I think, isn't there a divorce amongst the L's and the G's and the B's? Aren't they sick of the T's and the Q's? I thought they did divorced. On or about July 1, then the government got the 2 pride flags and gave them back to the FBI. Then they gave it over to Maltinsky. They're like, hey, like, you're super gay. You'll love these. He's like, I do love them. They're fabulous. At some point thereafter, Maltinsky displayed the pride flag on the wall, along with a placard 4 inches by 6 inches that described the history. These are big flags, okay? 5 feet by 8 feet. And another one that's 3 foot by 5 foot. Big. Then they gave them the flags. Then he puts the Progress Pride flag, so it's the 3 by 5er, the smaller one. He puts that on the wall and another placard. The display of the pride flag was consistent with the personnel displaying material at their workstation. He displayed it as a private citizen, okay, and not pursuant to any official responsibilities at the FBI. Well, he could put it as a private citizen at his home. It's on his official cubicle wall. So defendants routinely permit them to display signage. For example, they permit them to display like a blue line flag, the American flag with the blue line, which I also actually have a problem with. I don't like all the, permutations of our flags. The blue flags, the red flags, red lines, blue lines, all the lines on them. It's just the American flag. Okay, we're all America. Says defendants permit employees to display signage like the Gadsden flag, a Revolutionary War era flag that has come to be associated with right-leaning movements. And defendants permit them to display Punisher iconography, a graphic image of a skull that has become associated with anti-government militias. Now, defendant Patel himself distributes challenge coins featuring the blue line, the Punisher symbol, and the Gadsden flag, which are all cool symbols. Yeah, no more gay flags at the FBI. Like, that's just it. At some point, an FBI employee reported somebody to Maltinsky's direct supervisor. They say he's got a gay flag on his workstation. He does? Then a supervisor said, hey, I got a concern from you. And the supervisor said, sorry, I love your gay flag. It's great. So out of an abundance of caution, then Maltinsky requested that the chief division counsel, the lawyer, review the pride flag and whether it was lawful. The chief lawyer said, yep, this gay flag is amazing. You can fly it proudly. Then in early June, in anticipation of relocation to Quantico, Virginia, he cleaned out his workstation, removed the pride flag placard, reported for service as a new agent trainee at the FBI Academy back in June. He was one of 148 people. The class was divided into 3 sections. He went to the Bravo section. It's a 19-week training program. They test various skills, bunch of techniques and things. If he fails tests, he gets thrown out. By October 1, he had successfully completed 16 weeks, including all the tests. On the evening of October 1, he met with his squad in the business center of a dormitory. The purpose of the meeting was to prepare for a training exercise the following day. During the meeting, an FBI field counselor contacted Maltinsky saying, hey man, Special Supervisor Special Agent April French wants to come see you. Then French instructed Maltinsky that they were going to the administrative building, and he said, well, why are we going there? What's happening? She said, well, I don't know. Front office needs to see you though, so come with me. He then walked to the administration building and entered the executive office suite where he was directed to a conference room. Moments after Maltinsky entered the conference room, Deputy Assistant Watson and 2 section chiefs entered the room. Watson advised Maltinsky, you're fired, handed him a letter signed by Kash Patel. The letter said, this document provides official notice that you are being summarily dismissed from your position as new agent trainee at Quantico, and you're removed from federal service under my authority as FBI director, effective immediately. After reviewing the facts and circumstances and considering your probationary status, I have determined that you exercise poor judgment with an inappropriate display of political signage in your work area during your previous assignment at the LA field office. Pursuant to Article 2 of the Constitution, you are hereby fired. Get out. You're terminated. Maltinsky said, Watson, are you aware of the facts and circumstances in this letter? Do you know why I'm being fired? He said, no, I'm not aware. The letter had been handed to me that day. I've got the order to get you out of here. He said, well, it's because of my pride flag. Maltinsky said, I don't have any other signage displayed there, so it's because of the pride flag, not the other flags. He then briefly described his career. He says, I joined after 9/11 and after the Pulse shooting, and I worked a lot in diversity initiatives. He's like, I'm super gay. Watson responded that he appreciated his service and indicated that Maltinsky's efforts towards diversity helped the FBI in ways that you'll never know, I'm sure. Watson informed Maltinsky that he was expected to leave the FBI campus that night. He got to pack and go. Watson said, where are you going to go? He said, well, I have a car, but I'd been terminated my lease in LA. I no longer have a lease there. After consulting with others, he said, well, why don't you spend one more night at the academy so you can pack and prepare? He said, no, I'm out. Packed and left. Everybody left. Shortly thereafter, he then met with Human Resources and said they presented him with several documents, including a document for him to sign saying he's resigning. He declined to sign the document. He did not resign. After processing the paperwork, he returned all government property and packed his bags, exchanged farewells, and then escorted him out. He got in his car and he left. So he says that he has been harmed. Constitutional rights, damage of reputation, depriving him of status, eliminating his primary source of income, and more. And so he is suing. He says, we have freedom of speech, and the government can't fire me for my protected expressions. Displaying a pride flag is now your right. As a government employee, you can do whatever you want, I guess, and saying that this is an attack. In fact, the FBI approved this before. It's not partisan. It's not disruptive in any way. It is extremely partisan. It's extremely disruptive. That's why you have it up. That's why you fly it. Nor was Maltinsky's speech made pursuant to his official responsibilities. It's on your desk. It's on your wall. Or made to convey a government-created message, or made to fulfill a responsibility created by his employment. It was his own personal workstation, and he was speaking entirely as a private individual. Well, you can be fired for your private statements and your private stuff on your walls. As set forth, this is retribution, and he is now suing. He says, I have been attacked. This is retribution. It's violating my Fifth Amendment rights, violating equal protection rights. I want a declaratory judgment. He says, there's a controversy here, and I want you to make a declaration. First Amendment rights violated, Fifth Amendment rights violated, reinstate him, shove him back into the FBI, and make him an employee again, give him back pay and any other relief that you think is appropriate. Signed by Christopher Matei out in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Pro hoc vice, all trying to squeeze on in there in the District of Columbia, which is very blue and probably very gay. Kash Patel now being sued. We'll see what the DOJ says in response, what the FBI says in response. I'm sure there was a lot more to this story. We know why he was flying the flag, to create attention, to speak his message as opposed to other people's messages, which is why they try to spray the sidewalks with their flags, hang their flags over city capitals, hang them below the American flag. It's like all flags, a sign of conquest. Same reason the Mexicans come in with their flags and fly them around the streets as they're protesting America enforcing the law. So we'll see what happens next when the FBI submits their response. Thank you for subscribing and joining as we do.